Hi, everyone, and welcome to Season 3, Episode 7 of High Scores, High Stakes, the podcast that critics said wouldn't get to 5 episodes, but who's laughing now? I'm your host, Mr. Luvva
Hello.
Luvva, and with me are my co hosts.
I love it. Look at the episode number. Can you believe we made this many? We actually bothered to. Incroyable.
Incredible scenes, incredible scenes. Tomahawk here. Episode 50. Well,
Episode
hey,
50. Yep. Who would have thought it? Who
big
would have thought
5
it?
0.
It took us 2 years to get the first episode out, and in the next year, we've done 49 others. Incredible scenes. Incredible
Can't
scenes.
beat that.
It's actually more than 50, but we're not counting those pesky Game of the Month clubs. They don't count. Subsidiary series, they don't count the high scores, high stakes lore at
They're
all.
not canon. They're not canon.
They are the what ifs of the high scores, high stakes world. So they are. That's a nerd joke, Cardinal, just for the record, mate. But yes,
I'm laughing for the good time.
Internally, he's laughing in his heart.
he's like, I have no idea what's going on. I'm just gonna turn my camera off and go back to bed.
50 episodes too many.
50 episodes, it's my last.
Good day.
But yes, 50 episodes. Who would have thought? Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it? Not me, that is for sure. But look at us now. People will now start to expect high quality podcasting. We've hit that number. People are like, these boys must know what they're doing. Let's ask them questions about how to make a podcast online. Please don't be doing that. We haven't a clue what we're doing. We are winging it and living on a prayer. We're living on a prayer, as Madonna once said. But anyway, episode 50. It's a special episode because we're going back from where we began. We're going back to speedrunning platform games from the PlayStation 1 era. But before we get to that, we have to get to the plug section, the housekeeping section. If you like high scores, high stakes, and you want to know where you can get more content from us, the easiest place to go is to highscoreshighstakes.com. There you'll find articles, you'll find PlayStation news, podcast news, and everything in between. There's also wee articles for Game of the Month Club if you want to join the conversation in those episodes. This month's, well, March's episode. Halfway through, well, the first week of April. We're getting better at this. We're getting better at this. It is
Yeah.
the first week of
We'll
April.
catch up. It's grand. It's grand.
Yeah, obviously we're playing Helldivers 2. There is an article up on the website for you to put your thoughts about Helldivers 2. We'll read the best ones. So get over there, do that. Whilst you're there, on top of the page, you'll see links to all of our social medias. There's links to Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Discord, which is also in the description of this podcast episode, but also our YouTube. And on YouTube, Cardinal has been making a magnificent series that is updating everyone in our season long challenge, which I realized I haven't mentioned in about 3 weeks. We are playing Civilization 6 every single week. We have started a game of 500 maximum moves, and
It's a big one.
things are going swimmingly for everyone. Thus far, rather uneventful. We're trying to get our technologies up. We're trying to get our armies built. We're trying to do this, that, and the other. And it will come to a head at some point, I have no doubt. But if you want updates weekly on what we're doing on Civ 6, YouTube is your mate. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you ring that bell so you get wee updates whenever Cardinal gets those episodes live. They are very, very, very condensed, but they're also very, very, very good. And whilst we're speaking about subscribing and ringing little bells, if you're liking the podcast, if this isn't your first time, then get yourself to the subscribe, the follow, or the like button, depending on what platform you're listening to this on. If you've done that, you can leave us a 5-star review or whatever star you think we're worth. Give us some constructive feedback. And if you've already done that, then tell a friend about the podcast. Let's get more ears and more people in our high scores, high stakes community. Why not? And for first time listeners, if you don't know what high scores, high stakes is, it is very simply 4 friends challenging each other every week to PlayStation games. Every week we play a new game, every week we make a new challenge, and we are competing in a league table. The winner of the challenge gets 3 points, second place gets 2 points, third place gets 1 point, and last place gets nothing. And the league table, after 6 games, looks like this. In fourth place, on 6 points, it's our strong and solid foundation. It's Mr. John Sherry, the Sherry position. Um, In third place on 11 points, starting to make a wee bit of a gap there, is Cardinal Smith. In second place on 14 points is Tomahawk, the perennial runner-up. And in first place on 16 points, it's your boy, the true champ, the only champ, the winner, the everything.
The
It's
one
me.
time.
It's me. One-time winner.
Mr.
Shit.
One in a row, isn't it? That's what.
We don't talk about streaks in this podcast ever, gentlemen, okay? Unless it's a really
Never been
impressive
brought
one.
up.
But that's the state of play after 6 games. It's pretty tight. It's pretty tight.
That's it.
Sherry is
One result will, for the top 3 at least anyway, can sort of start to make or break someone's season at least anyway.
I feel like I've said this before, but Sherry is in grave danger of being cut out from the pack. But we've said that before, and he's managed to claw his way back into. Every time I say that, he goes on a wee run of picking up points. No one is ever truly out in high scores, high stakes, because as everyone knows, come the last episode, we'll do something crazy, like give 100 points or whatever it is. Let's be honest here. I'm not saying the league is meaningless, but that last week usually brings with it
You still
some
have to show up
massive
between
changes.
weeks 1 and 11, though. That's all. That all being said, you can get 100
mean-
points, but you may end up still being 110 points off the pace by.
I
by the
mean,
end.
yes. I mean, you say you have to turn up, but there's only 3 of us. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, you show up, you get enough
Put you in the best
singles.
position,
That's
at
it.
least.
That's it. He is picking up points. He is. And I'm sure he'll continue to pick up points. We just got to try to stop him from winning some challenges, especially winning more than one in a row. And speaking of more than one in a row, our poll of the week last week got some votes. And our poll of the week was very, very simple. Is Tomahawk secretly a Tricky Tars former or current world champion? And there was a lot of options in this poll, I'm not going to lie. There was a lot of yes options and one no option. And a resounding victory. They finally picked the right answer here, folks. In a score of 2-0, the multitude of yes answers outvoted no. So, Tom, come clean. What year did you win the Tricky Towers World Tour?
Well, I mean, it was the Estonian Open in 2006. I was playing Tricky Towers against a whole bunch of bots, and I was the only one that showed up. So I won by default.
I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah.
We just knew it. We just knew it. Our question of the week last week got no responses. Oh, but it's a really simple one, and I think we can answer it. And the question was, what is your favorite puzzle game? So, Cardinal, put you in the spot here. What is your favorite puzzle game?
If we're talking like PlayStation environment,
Anything.
none.
Wow.
I don't like them.
You don't like puzzle games?
You know what? Do you know
Too
what? I
much
know what I
thinking.
don't like. I know what I don't like. Picks the cat. Put that at the bottom of every list.
Wow.
Give me some good examples.
Well, there's Tetris. There is Devil Dice on the PlayStation 1 was an absolutely superb one. There is Lemmings, another superb puzzle game. Puzzle Bobble, super Puzzle Bobble. There's loads of them. I mean, it could go on. Portal 2, puzzle games. Superliminal, another good one. The Witness.
You're kind of blowing his mind a little bit now. This is a man who
know,
clearly
I
didn't
mean-
prep for this question.
I mean, I own the Portal game. I've never really played it.
Wow. You're
So,
missing out.
you know,
Wow,
like, I mean, people enjoy puzzle games, and that's fine.
But not Cardinal
And-
Smith.
Educate me. Tell me. You know what? I played the Bejeweled game on Sky TV.
Games.
I
Sky
forgot about
TV.
Bejeweled. What a game that was. Peggle. Tomahawk, save a section. What's your favorite puzzle game? Quick, have one.
See, I had Picks the Cat. I'm going to fight the corner and Picks the Cat because it was a tight choice between it and Portal 2. But
Mhm.
because of Cardinal's hatred for Picks the Cat, I'm gonna stand and fight its corner. Past the games, you
Meow.
you made something fantastic and beautiful, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
I'm afraid I'm in total agreement with Tomahawk. Picks the Cat is not only a good puzzle game, it is a great puzzle game. It is so much fun, perfectly designed, perfectly made as well. It's not very often you say, you know what, this game is perfect. Pixacat is a wee perfect puzzle game. It's great. It's not my favorite of all time because that belongs to Choo Choo Rocket. Choo Choo Rocket is the best puzzle game ever made. Sega Dreamcast classic. So it is.
What is that?
Oh, it's basically you have a set number of mice and you have to direct them into rockets, whilst avoiding cats. But you also they only move in straight lines, and you get a set amount of arrow tiles to put on the ground. So it's basically a mix of lemmings. It's basically lemmings, where you have to direct your mice around the cats to get them into rockets. It's really good. It
This
was
section has divulged very weirdly into feline-based gaming.
Yeah, it's really good. It was a toss up between that and Puzzle Bubble. Puzzle Bubble's great, or Bust a Move, as they renamed them over here. Bust a Move is another great game.
But is that not like Busted Groove? Is that not a rhythm?
It's not a rhythm game, no. It's basically the characters from Bubble Bubble, only they just fire colored bubbles up into the sky and have to match three of them to make them disappear.
Guys, I'm not gonna lie. Turns out I don't have or have ever owned any puzzle games.
Wow, this is crazy to me. That's crazy to me. But anyway, moving on from Cardinal's lack of respect to the puzzle genre as a whole.
Oh,
I apologize to any developers here listening to this who make puzzle games. Cardinal Smith will not play it because apparently he's against all puzzle games in all forms.
We do
Really
not
weird.
share the opinions of
I'm not-
Cardinal Smith on this podcast.
Cardinal Smith's opinions are his own, and not do not reflect that as advice.
this is a revelation to me as much as you.
But anyway, there is a question of the week and there is a poll of the week this week. But in order to hear them, you have to stick around till the end. There are a couple of wee doozies as well, so make sure you stick around. Which brings me, Cardinal, and in the hope that you have an answer to this question, because I'm going to ask you, what are you playing?
I'll tell you because I haven't stopped these last few days. I have tore into Final Fantasy 16.
Wish.
2/3 of the way through. The lads are getting beat up by Clive. He's unstoppable. I thought the opening was a bit dramatic and a bit like Dragon Ball Z fighty, massive people flying up in the sky, kind of turning into beasts and stuff. It just gets crazier. Like the beasts get big. Literally, I can't even explain it, but there's just people do things to become bigger, bolder, badder. Clives get stronger.
Clive's plural. I like this.
Plural Clive.
Just
Final Fantasy Clive.
I just imagine the
is
director going.
smashing boys
just
all
imagine
around him.
Just imagine the director going, there's something missing from this game. It's more Clives. 16 Clives, please.
There's something to be said about all Final Fantasy games. I think I've said this many times. I love to watch them be played, but not a game for me to kind of be putting man hours in. I'm sitting watching a stream
16's totally
of
different.
Final Fantasy Rebirth at the minute, and just watching characters like Cloud in his full battle gear, big sword on his back, just walking through a beach resort, and everyone kind of normally dressed, and that is accepted in the world of Final Fantasy. Everyone's just like, that guy's doing something. Let's just not pay attention to that. Let's not draw attention to him.
I mean,
Can't beat it.
are you telling me that when you go to the beach, you don't bring your weapons with you? It seems
Not
irresponsible.
always. I mean,
Look, Cloud is very conscious about his tanning. He doesn't want to burn, and having that sword in his back just protects. It means he doesn't need to lather himself down at the Costa del Sol day in, day out. So let's move on.
so you've been accepting the truth on Final Fantasy 16 then?
I have been R3L3 accepting the truth,
Beautiful.
and I'm gonna finish it.
Is it good?
Yes.
Game of the year,
Excellent.
good. Can it count for this year?
No.
It was
No,
released
I
last.
mean,
Great, so it's going to be my game of the year this year. No, no,
Well, at least
wait
it's
till I'll wait till
one
later.
year closer than what your last game of the year was.
I have other games to play before I go to game of the year.
Okay, cool. From this year?
One of the
No.
years. Let's move on.
Tomahawk, tell me, What are you playing?
Stellar Blade demo.
Yo.
Oh, yes.
Oh man, I did not know what I was getting into,
Yes, you did.
but
And
I
that's
am
why you downloaded it.
so
You
glad.
filthy
Like, no, but
animal.
like we watched it on the
Honey, I
showcase.
don't know what that is on the TV.
It's not these jiggling. It's like the Smithers meme where he's like, "Oh God, please don't touch me." um, Incredible. It's literally got me thinking: do I want to play, like, buy this game in immediately? Do I want to drop 70 quid on this game? And I don't think that very often about games, especially in the climate in which I am playing games. If it's not on a deal, I don't usually buy it. But this game, the combat is a little bit of input delay, but that could just be the demo, being in the demo. But it just balls to the wall. You just straight into combat. Has a bit of a Souls-like feel to it,
Okay.
which I'm really, really loving. And they just throw you straight into a boss and go, right, there you are. Figure it out. There's your attack. There's your light attack, heavy attack. The plot, I'm pretty sure, makes no sense. You just, in a dropship, go fight, go defend, take back Earth. But you're this. You're this. It starts off so mental. You're this like troop of like Asian women, army super soldiers. It's so anime. It's ridiculous.
I mean, who else is going to save Earth other than a
Exactly,
troop
yeah.
of Asian women? I mean, it makes perfect sense to me.
Not us.
No, they're never going to go for the weird ginger bearded Irish guys.
No, not at all.
We're not going to take back Earth.
So the demo only gives you like about an hour of the gameplay, but gives you like 3 bosses to tackle.
Mm-hmm.
And then does this 3-4 minutes trailer of what's to expect in the other game, and anything where it's customizable battle suits to like surfing on your sword down a half pipe through a destroyed cityscape. That game had everything. It even like reminded me of Metal Gear Rising with this banging soundtrack constantly, no matter what you were doing, no matter where you are and fighting this soundtrack, just this K-pop type music just playing constantly in the background. It had everything, just this nice level of bonkers that I could massively get behind.
I love that Tomahawk's just like, you know what, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, just a bit too, like,
Bit too out
Japanese or something, a bit too out there. That guy's wearing a sword at the beach. But you know what, K-pop soundtrack, surfing on a sword,
Right up
I mean,
my
why
street.
not?
anime.
I think
I'm on
you
board.
said it the other day playing Final Fantasy 16. It was like, it's so anime, and I think that has just lived in my head. Even playing Stellar Blade, I was like, I didn't 100% know what I was getting into, and I'm so pleasantly surprised from it.
It sounds incredible.
Oh, I think when we first watched it, I was like looking at the sort of settings and the character NPCs and stuff like that, thinking I've got a real Borderlands kind of vibe to this, and I'm like, no, it's kind of like if Final Fantasy met Bloodborne meets everything in between. It's
Meets
Meets Near Automata, which is the vibe I got from it.
exactly, yeah, that's it. So I had a wee bash at that, and that's been pretty much it. It's been a quiet week in Tomahawk household.
Yep. Cool. It's been a very, very, very quiet gaming week in my household as well. I have
really?
played
Because what are you playing?
Woo! Wowzers. I have been playing very, very little, actually, to be fair. The first half of the week was spent trying to get SWAT 3 running on my Steam Deck to no success. I couldn't even get it to put the Sierra logo at the start of the game, so that has been refunded. Then I moved on to SWAT 4, and SWAT 4 played straight from the box. Thank you very much. Good old games. It's fantastic too. It's really good. It's really old school, obviously, because it came out in 2004, I think. But yeah, no, it is really, really fun. Hard as heck. It's like the old school Rainbow Six games, only you play a Los Angeles SWAT team rather than a hard-boiled military unit as you did in Rainbow Six. It's
Sounds
really
incredible.
It is really good. It's very impressive for when it was released. It still looks pretty good too. The only thing is the Steam Deck runs at like 200 frames per second, so the sensitivity of your mouse aim is all over the place because obviously it was never designed to run at 200 frames per second. So apart from that, I mean, very, very little. Gran Turismo 7, I've been playing a little bit of that. And I've played one game of Content Warning, which
Oh
was,
yes.
Ooh.
which
Was
was,
that
yeah,
good?
it was a very short-lived game. Obviously, it was free for a bit. It did really, really well. I think 6 million people downloaded it whilst it was free.
So I heard, yeah.
Crazy amount of people. Finding a game on it, really difficult. I don't know if it's just because there's so many people on.
It's that initial buzz, yeah.
Yeah. So I played through a little bit of it on the Steam Deck again. But it's clearly designed for mouse and keyboard. There is a community layout for the pad. Not great. Not great. So I only played one game. Very, very short lived. Very, very, very funny. It's obviously you are trying to get videos of ghosts in order to go viral on the game's version of YouTube. But it's really funny. It's got full like voice chat and it just happens. It's just yeah, it is really funny. It's a type of game that would be really great with friends, but somehow playing it with randomers may be even better in the long run. If
Oh,
that makes
class.
sense. But yeah, it's actually quite good fun. I'm
But it
looking
went
forward to playing more of
free.
it.
It was only free for a couple of days, and it's like what, $7.99. So I think even still, if that player
Bargain.
base stays strong, people will pay that, and it's nothing by comparison, really.
Yeah, it's really good crack too. Yeah, I do recommend it. It's really good crack. Runs really well on the Steam Deck as well. Once
Nice.
again, the Steam Deck comes up clutch. But yeah, that's it. That's all I've been playing. My Gran Turismo 7 was trying to beat Cardinal's time in a oval time trial and getting that
Did you do it?
close, Cardinal, like 100th of a second behind you.
Oh,
But I was like, I'll
Incredible.
definitely do it. I'll
You're
definitely
gonna-
do it this time. No.
you're going to get like 1 billion creds for doing that.
Yeah, boy.
It'd be like Luvva to be overly competitive about a game and obsess over it for long periods of time.
To be fair, I actually spent quite a bit of time getting that down.
That's what I was gonna say.
You're setting the score, not him beating it, though.
I think I ended up doing about 50 laps and then quitting and then going, one more go.
Oh yeah, that's
And
always
then
it.
another
That's the
20
hardest.
laps.
It's so short. Like for context, though, this was like a really short. It is literally a circle, flat out, no braking, just
No, nothing. It just all comes down to like smooth steering. And I think that was the
Yeah.
difference between me and you because obviously you have your high value steering wheel. I
didn't-
was using
I
my
used the
you used the
controller.
dual sense, were you?
I used the
Okay.
fuel sense for this one.
So there we go. The dual
Okay,
sense
well
wars are on in Gran Turismo 7. Watch this
Mm.
space. And speaking of watching spaces, shall we go into our challenge game space and talk about Crash Bandicoot 2?
Yes.
I think we should.
I think so.
Let's go. Well, here we are, the challenge game in episode 50. And we thought to ourselves, episode 50, when we realized it was episode 50, by the way, there was some maths needing to be done. We were like, what can we do for episode 50? It needs to be something special. And we all thought, let's bring it back from whence we came. Crash Bandicoot. But Crash Bandicoot, I don't know about you two, but the speedrun of Crash Bandicoot nearly made me lose all semblance of who I am as a person. I mean, it was bad times, so we thought, let's skip Crash Bandicoot and go straight to the sequel, Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back. And we thought, it can't be as bad as Crash. Surely Naughty Dog back in the day took some sympathy on us and thought, you know what, we'll ease the difficulty level down for everyone involved in this. Without spoiling it too much, not the case at all.
No,
No.
Not a chance. No,
No,
we were talking about this just before record as well, Luvva. It's all well and good prepping for that Insanity Beach run because it was about a year, 2 years of
Mhm.
us just kind of meandering through a level there and just going, that'll do, that'll be a handy thing for the start. We'll see where this takes us.
Mhm.
When your deadline is like less than a week to get a run in, it becomes a bit more high pressure.
It does. It does. There's a lot less time to watch speedruns.
This
And-
pushed the bounds of the time I'm willing to put into games anymore. This
Yeah.
kind of ruined my happiness a little bit.
Yep.
But it wouldn't be
For
high
cl-
scores, high stakes if it didn't.
for context, for those
This
who are
podcast isn't
unaware,
about happiness
No.
or
no,
enjoyment.
no, it's not. For context, to people who are unaware of Crash Bandicoot, um, there's the level we're speedrunning this episode is the second level in the game, and I want to stress that it is the second level in the game. It's called Snow Go, and yeah, I wish I didn't. I wish I didn't go there. At one point, I think it was Sunday night. Sunday was my only real day of really running this game, thinking, okay,
Same.
let's get a time down. Let's get time down. In and around about 11 o'clock, I think I started taking a mental breakdown. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Everything that I had practiced and tried just fell to pieces, and our social media manager, who none of us knows who this person is, started collating my video clips of Crash Bandicoot and decided to show the world my descent into Cortex madness. If you want to see those videos, some of them are quite funny. One of them, I die, and I'm not quite sure how or why I died, and it led me down a rabbit hole of asking questions about how
Oh,
exactly
no,
collision
you're
in Crash
absolutely
Bandicoot
right.
works.
This is one of those funny ones though as well, because I did the same thing. I maybe played it for a couple of hours, put a time in, took a break because it's just there's a reason we don't speed run every week. Went back to it and then basically found myself having to spend the same time I put in to relearn the route and relearn like command inputs. And plus, I had to go back to use the PlayStation 4, so the DualShock 4 was about to be snapped in two. It
Yeah.
was awful.
Also, this is a cautionary tale for anyone thinking about buying a digital only PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Don't be like Tom. Buy the disc version. Utilize your whole library of PlayStation games here, folks. But yes, Crash Bandicoot 2. I don't even know what to say. I thought we extended the deadline on this one because we realized how tight time is, and we wanted this to be competitive. So we were allowed to play it until Tuesday night.
That's right.
Tuesday night.
Yes.
Monday, I maybe put another 20 minutes in, lost the will, decided no more of this. And then on Tuesday, I was like, came out of work on Tuesday and I was like, maybe I'll put in a run or two, try to get my time down. Came home, physically couldn't stomach the idea of playing Crash Bandicoot 2 anymore, so I didn't. I just accepted my time. I was like, that will do enough, because I do remember saying some point in season 1 that Crash Bandicoot 1 took all the joy out of it for me, because I was just trying to get little tiny 1 second improvements here, there, and everywhere. And I was like, no, I'm not letting Crash Bandicoot ruin me again. I'm just not. Like, I can't. I can't. And Crash Bandicoot 2, it is casually a way easier game than Crash Bandicoot 1. I think there is no getting around that. It is, as a casual playthrough, if you're just playing it to finish it, it's easier. Once you start trying to get the actual collectibles and things in it, or if you're trying to speedrun it, if you're trying to get those speedrunning anks, whatever they're called, it is excruciatingly difficult. The timings are so
Precise, yeah.
Wow. But I think enough preamble. Shall we get into the runs?
Let's get into it. Let's see what
Let's
we're
do
doing
it.
with.
Yeah, just for context, the run order for tonight is we're just going to go league order. So Sherry's first, Cardinal second, Tom will be third, my run will be last. So let's get to the gameplay, folks. So here we are with Mr. John Sherry's run. If nothing else, this might perk up our attitudes to this game, because I just saw he called this Snow Can Do, which implies to me that Mr. John Sherry found this a particularly difficult challenge like the rest of us did. So I'm also seeing the runtime. This gives me hope. I'm not going to lie, folks. It gives me hope. It really does. So I think what we should do is witness the insanity that Crash Bandicoot induces in people. And let's see how Mr. John Sherry did. So Cardinal, without any further ado, please hit that play button, mate. Let's go! So Mr. John Sherry then. So as I said, this is the second level in the game. Not the second world, the second level. And it is really hard. I thought.
That's it. It's a laugh though,
It
because like
is
straight
hard.
off the bat, I think this is where I realized particularly that running is not Crash's fastest mode of transportation anymore. He can in this.
Really?
I remember in this one that they brought in the slide and spin mechanics, and well, the spin mechanic's always there, but the slide mechanic has been introduced.
Really?
Yep.
So
What's a slide mechanic?
so if you press circle, he'll do like a little slide kick, and
Oh, no way.
if you jockey it with the spin, you can cover a good bit more distance in a shorter space of time.
Yep. Yep. I find the same. He didn't even go for the 2 time boxes in there. Crazy.
Interesting.
It's crazy.
Now the ice as well. The ice does just hurdle you across the arena. I found it quite. I found it quite struggling to actually get a cohesive like line in my runs.
Mhm.
So I tried to touch the ice as little as humanly possible, to be honest.
Yeah, I find the ice inconsistent. I think is the best way to describe it. I find the ice inconsistent. Sometimes it would hurdle you. Well, we can pause it there, Cardinal. I find the
Wow.
ice really, really, really inconsistent. Sometimes it will hurdle you. Other times I find I get stuck in it. I don't know if anyone else experienced that.
I got
Nope.
stuck on the
What?
environment just beyond it, especially in that first section of the ice, at least anyway. But um, the proof will be in the watching. I think we can sort of dissect everyone else's as we go.
Yep.
But
Yep.
just looking at that, there, Sherry's had a lovely little run through. He's had a clean run through, if nothing else.
Yeah, it's clean. It wasn't fast. He missed 2 important boxes by not hitting the special show these boxes box. And he missed a freeze of 5 seconds. So his end time
Mm.
there was 1:14. It was actually clean. There was no big issues with it. He had to wait for the first penguin to do that spin. But yeah, no, it was all right. It was fine. It was fine. He obviously didn't know about the slide mechanic because he didn't use it at all. But he was weaving. He had the little first hill where the sails come down. I don't know if you've noticed, he hit the second sail and it blew up all the nitro
the
boxes
nitro
on the
boxes,
ice.
Yeah,
yes.
I hadn't seen that before.
No, nor had I.
It's very you have to really, really time it to get that, and I think you have to always hit the middle seal to hit the back seal, then to catapult them. So if you hit the first one, you get all 3 of them, and it doesn't impact that. But that's a good time, like good timing was there definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an awful time at all. It's fine. I think my first run through this, and this is clearly Sherry's first and only run of the game because his other times are 0.
One and done, baby.
He loves it. Never change, Sherry. Please never change. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff in this level. So the Eagle Eye there, if you're watching the video version, you've seen it. If you're not, it starts off with Crash running into the screen. You make a couple of deceptively difficult jumps. There's a lot of time boxes placed. I don't know about you guys. I find the time box and placement in this game really, really awkward to make like a path through the game. Written the game was really hard, and
It's not a staircase of boxes this time.
no, all the good time boxes are over ice on top of 2 other boxes, and the actual ability to get Crash in line so you can jump, spin that the 3-second box, and move on. Really hard, really, really difficult. It is as I said at the start, this game is way easier casually than Crash Bandicoot 1. Speedrun wise, it is insanely more difficult. As you said, Tom, Crash Bandicoot has way more movement options in this. So, to my eye, I don't know how accurate this is. Crash's fastest mode of transport is sliding and then immediately going to the dash, the spin.
Yeah.
And that is clearly his fastest mode of transportation in this game. You have to slide, and then just before the slide ends, you hit the square button to go into the spin, and he does like a Tasmanian devil forward tornado spin. Definitely his fastest route. Also, you can pick up some speed by sliding on the ice.
I'm looking at Cardinal's face here, and it's
Yeah.
not inspiring me with much confidence now.
For people who aren't watching the video, I have no idea what Luvva's been talking about here. He's talking about sliding. Didn't know his mechanic. I've never played Crash 2, but I presumed it was the same as Crash 1.
No.
Must it be?
Whoops.
No.
I didn't need this slide technique to complete the level to unlock the speedrun version.
No, you do
Um,
not. But to get the like anks or whatever they're called in this game, I can't remember what they're called. Relics. You do need to use the slide and spin movement. There's no doubt in my mind about it. But
Well,
it is what it is. It's done now. It's done now. I don't know how fast your time was, Cardinal, but Sherry's is it's all right. It's not bad. 1 minute 14:27 is all right for a one-time speed run. So it is. It's not bad at all. So I think what we should do, Cardinal, you're third in the league. You're going to be the second run we watch tonight. So let's get that queued up and let's get ready to go. But hey,
hi folks. Just before we get in our run here, Love is thirsty. And what we're going to do here is take a quick pause because we are going to play Name That Game. That's right, gents. Tell me,
We're back.
what's the scores on the doors here? Is it 5 to Luvva, 3 to Tomahawk?
close. I have 6-3.
Yeah, I have 6-3 by my count.
3. You should have said 5-3. Tom should have said 5-3.
Too honest. That's it.
Too honest. They don't breed them like that anymore. So, people at home, this is the occasion where I read an Amazon review of a game. And Mr. Luvva, Tomahawk need to guess that game. If they can't get it from the review, we give a clue and we see what we do. So, gentlemen, review 1 is as follows. It's from Daniel, and he gives this game 2 stars. It's great for the first 30 minutes for a bit of fun, service, and exploration. But after that, it relies on fan service to offer poor gameplay. Runs smoothly for the most part. It does not have any substance. Just shoot things and try not to get bored too quickly. Don't get me wrong, if you spend a fair amount of money to have nostalgia of this particular universe and explore locations from the films, it's great. Personally, I wanted the story retold or a new one given. Nothing happened. Shoot this, shoot that. It got old quickly. Disappointed. Gentlemen,
It's annoying.
dissect and name that game.
So as soon as he said it offered fan service and it lost interest after 30 minutes, my initial guess was going to be No Man's Sky.
Mm-hmm.
But now you've talked about a movie franchise.
Mm-hmm.
You've thrown a spanner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw a guess out, and I'm gonna guess that this is a recent game, and I'm gonna say, is it Star Wars Battlefront Collection?
Ooh, it is not. It's not a bad guess, but it's really not.
I'm going to throw. Is it Terminator, the one with Christian Bale in it, the tie-in video game? I can't remember what that film was called. Salvation.
It's not.
It's not. Okay.
It's
Okay.
not. Okay, folks. So we didn't get that, but let's think about what we can do to help you along. Okay, folks. So you know what's coming. The first clue is this is an asymmetrical survival horror game.
In which you shoot things. Asymmetrical horror game. The Evil Dead?
What do you think, Tomahawk?
I was going to say The Evil Dead as well.
Well, you should
But
have said it faster
I know
because
we
it's
should have
Evil
said
Dead
it
in the game.
faster, is right. R.I.P.
And that
The Evil
score-
Dead.
Alrighty. It was only released in 2022 and it's
It
already
was.
dead.
And it's dead. Dead as a dodo. Sherry's favorite game of all time, by the way. Just
Yeah.
I mean, it's in the public domain now. It's true. It's on podcast, on record.
It's part of High Scores, High Stakes lore. Sherry's favorite
is.
challenge game.
You can catch the old episode now. Season 1.
Incredible.
Or was it season 2?
Season 2, I
Well,
think.
season 1, yeah.
2. Season 1?
Oh, it was season 1. It
Well,
was
it was,
season
yeah.
1. You're right. You're right.
I
Well,
remember his
folks,
wobbly
with that,
well.
the scores are 7-3. Luvva taking a bit of a lead. 2 more
Run
rounds
the
to bring it back, though.
run the way of it here at the moment.
Oh, but for now, let's go check out my crash run, okay?
Yes, let's go. Here we go. This is Cardinal's run. I am going to give the mic to Cardinal, and I'm going to let him talk us all through what his game plan was, and what his route was to this level. So, Cardinal, the mic is yours. Go for it, man. Tell us all about your run.
Okay, I'm going to hit play for those watching the video, and I'm going to say straight away, I did not know about the sliding feature. But what I did want to do is try and hit all of these timing boxes as best I could. And the ice you mentioned a lot of slows you down so much, and it sort of completely deflects the angle you want to go on.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you've no real control of it. I
I
had
will
plenty
say
of
though,
feels.
you had a lovely moment there bouncing on the mask box onto the 3 second time box.
Oh,
That
yeah,
was a lovely piece
it
of
was
movement.
terrific. It was
That
terrific.
that never occurred to me, and
Really.
it's in hindsight, it's like, why did that never occur to me?
I know, I get really held up by the stumpy, smashy pillar things here. And the
Oh,
reason
slow and
for that
steady.
is slow and steady, but it absolutely ruined my run.
Yeah.
And,
And you
and then I
did
missed
this.
that box, so it's just a disaster, really. But
Here, they're taking the time saves. That's what you want to be doing in this
Mhm.
in a speed run as such.
it is indeed. But we're approaching near the end of the level now, and I'm on 51 seconds, and I've got Sherry's. I missed 1 second box,
You did, yep.
and I've got Sherry's time in the back of my head, and I'm feeling pretty nervous.
It's gonna be close. You
It
should
is.
beat it unless the disaster occurs here.
Unless you clip into the environment, I think yeah, you're in there.
You're fine. You're fine.
Okay, so what we have there is a 1 minute and 9 seconds. 0.43.
It's a good 5 second improvement anyway. That puts you nice and pretty at the top of the pile.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're sitting first here. You're sitting
Until we
first.
see the next run.
It was a very conservative playthrough. I think when those two stomping things came down, you should have just ran through both of them. You would have had more than enough time.
I'll tell you, I plenty of times I ran through those, and then there was the odd time I would run through and it would stomp behind me and squish me,
Yeah, I had that
Yeah.
as well.
and
Yeah,
I felt like I was
boxes are-
clean through.
Crazy on this.
Yeah, one of the videos of mine on Twitter just has the tagline, "What is with these hitboxes?" Because the hitboxes are, it's well known, and this is obviously the remastered version. The hitboxes are not square; they have curved edges, so they're kind of oblong squares and rectangles. Is how they
Right.
work, which is why sometimes you'll slip off platforms and stuff in Crash Bandicoot Remastered. So they changed that. I think it was to compensate for the higher polygon of everything more than anything else.
Okay.
But it makes some weird situations in this game. One of them is you're clear of something, but it'll hit you just because it says I've went through your hitbox, even though clearly visually you're through. Because I had that in those dropping things as well, and oftentimes the penguin would
pain.
kill me despite the fact I spun into it first and things like that. But that was a really good run. As Tom says, that move on the first frozen lake thing to get the 3 second was really, really quite intelligent. Jumping on top of the mask box to get the height for the third. I wish I thought of that because I struggled. That was the box that I struggled with the most, was that first 3 seconds.
I wish I knew about the slide.
The slide
Um,
probably would have saved you a good
10 seconds.
easily.
Minimum.
Absolutely.
Minimum 10 seconds, I'd say, because it is rapid. The only thing about it is it messes with your timing on everything else, but it would have saved you a good 10 seconds. You would have been sub 1 minute.
Well,
But-
folks,
That's something to
Here we
practice
are.
for episode 100, isn't it? When we do Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped.
you heard
There's-
it here. Luvva said he's going to do it.
There's a slide function in Crash Bandicoot 3 as well, just for FYI.
Thanks.
Just in case you
Keep it
didn't
in
know.
mind.
But yes. So yes, right now, just for refreshing the times, Sherry's was 1 minute 14:27. You finished in 109:43, which means currently, as things stands, you're getting 3 points. Sherry's getting 2 points. Who knows how it's going to all play out? Unfortunately, you're going to have to wait to see how it all plays out because we're going to go back to game number 2. You've named that game. Let's get there now.
Hi, folks. So welcome back to Name That Game. The scores are 7-3 to Luvva to Tomahawk. And this is round 2. Gentlemen, are you ready?
I was born ready, mate.
No.
Game that name. This is a review from a person, a human.
A human person?
A human
I
person?
believe
You don't
so.
see those very often.
No, you
Hard to
don't.
tell, but I reckon it is. So, the development team decided to deliberately mass market this genre of this title for 5 years. It is not an open world MMO. It is the very bare bones extraction looter. The one thing this game has got going for it is the amazing world design. Whoever was in charge of the world design should take over the entire project. It's the only redeeming quality this game has. 5 years of development, and somehow we have no melee, no valuating, I think that means vaulting, or climbing, no varied loot, no cars, no zombies, no players due to silly capsize, no progression of any kind. The development has gone backwards. What was displayed in the trailers is a total lie, and the devs have tried to delete those misleading videos, further incriminating themselves. This is not a court order, by the way, it's just a literal game review.
Mm-hmm.
I love extraction shooters, so I would have been excited to know one was being released. Instead, I was lied to for 5 years and sold a product I thought was something else entirely, that underperforms in almost every way. He goes on. Avoid this game forever. The devs will only abandon it as they have done previously. Gentlemen, that is your slightly critical review.
Wow, that is scathing, isn't it?
That was bad. That was bad.
Went to town.
Don't think I even have a clue who it is. They said that it's basically
Oh,
development nightmare. There's no zombies. There's no melee. No vaulting.
Yeah.
I think I might know what this is.
Well, you go first then. If you get it, then it's only deserved.
Say a name, Tom. Just say words.
I was gonna say, is it World War Z? But that is exactly melee, vaulting, and zombies.
Yeah.
It's not, but it's a good guess.
Is it The Division?
Oh, it is not. But that is, of course, an extraction looter. Sorry, not a distraction looter.
So that review said there was no zombies, right?
Yeah.
It said there was no zombies.
All right.
I will say they were complaining about that fact.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Okay.
Include.
So the clue for this is it was only released on Windows. It received 1 out of 10 on IGN. It was released
the day before.
I was about to say it was released just this year, and it is the day before. It is already gone from
It doesn't
stores.
exist anymore.
The servers are gone. You can't buy it. It is dead.
The company went bankrupt, or they went they went under
folded.
after first day of early access or something.
Did
One
they?
of their umbrella companies maybe went bust.
Yeah.
Sold 5 million copies, and then it was like, we have no money to fix this. Bye.
They had to refund everyone apparently. Yeah.
Did anyone get refunds?
I think
This
it's
is all
still
speculation.
controversial. Yeah.
Allegedly.
If you bought it, let us know in the comments.
I'm sure we know somebody who probably did. I saw streamers hitting it the day it came out.
I
And
did.
then
As soon as you said
never-
about like the lack of anything in the map and it not being as open world as it was advertised, I do remember reading that it basically just was devoid of all life and anything in the game.
Yeah.
Yes, I also remember reading a review or looking at it, and all the assets around were either AI generated or they're mostly just bought,
Just
like assets you
placeholders.
can buy from marketplaces and just placed. Here is a bin. Here is a
Nothing
car,
malicious.
set car.
Although
Incredible.
apparently the word building was the best part of it. So there we go.
Well, so says.
Give
Here.
that man a raise.
And that's a point to Tomahawk.
It is
Close to the gap.
7-4.
7-4. I think what we should do before we get to game 3 is get the run number 3 in Crash Bandicoot, and that is yours, Tomahawk.
Ooh,
Of
exciting.
course, the winner of Crash Bandicoot 1 speedrun. Let's see if you can continue that trend. Let's go. So, this is it. Run number 3, Tomahawk's run. Tomahawk, of course, famous for winning one challenge in season 1, and it was, of course, the first ever episode of High Scores, High Stakes. It was Crash Bandicoot 1. So, Tomahawk, take the mic, mate. Talk us through your run whenever you're ready, mate.
So we have talked a lot sort of negatively about this level here. I'm just utilizing the spin and slide technique here for Cardinal's view and pleasure.
Wow.
I've made a point that I don't want to just win this challenge. I want to destroy everyone in my path.
Mhm.
It is the long and short of this. Now, it's only watching this back, I've realized that if you're skidding and jumping, Crash will leave a single footprint every the equivalent of 10 paces. So props to the animation team on that one. But no, I'm absolutely flying.
You really
That,
are.
Wow.
Figuring that slide and spin technique just kind of, it's getting the timings of it, because if you miss the spin, you end up just crawling on the floor.
Yes, you do, and it's super annoying. But
But
you're
that,
absolutely flying here.
Speed over the ice.
Going on the ice, the slide feature just you clear that gap in no time at all now, and we've just
Wow.
got one more little
Oh
bit to
my
do.
goodness.
Wow. Wow. That is fast.
Oh my goodness.
I will
That
say
is-
the next gem to unlock is 45 seconds.
Yeah.
I cannot for love nor money figure out how to chip away at that. And that's a
Yeah.
second and a half that I
Well,
need to do.
For people who are listening, Tom's time is 46 seconds and 4.41.
It's crazy fast. That was smooth as all
Oh.
heck. So it was, to be fair. Really, really, really good run. Really good run. Wowzers. There's not much to say in that. That was really, really pretty much, that's a flawless run. That's good. That's
I
good.
think the first thing that I'm pretty sure me and you, Lover, may be in the same boat. The first thing we did was Google a speed run.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing that came up was that slide into a spin, and then just it's working out the timings. Yes, I changed to the PS4 for it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I could chip away a few more seconds had I had the dual sense to hand.
I don't know.
Possibly.
I don't know. The DualSense is a very, very, very good controller. I had issues with maintaining the spin slide routine with it. I don't know why, but I had some issues maintaining it. But yeah, that's it. That's a,
Mamma
good.
mia.
That's a good run. That is a good run.
I want to say that I Googled a speedrun video before playing mine, and they got about 49 seconds, and they weren't spinning.
right.
Or maybe I didn't notice, and I didn't see a slide technique, and I wondered why mine was like 20 seconds plus slower. I was confused.
Yeah,
Credit to you, Tobo.
I'm
So-
sure.
My
there's
game
a-
plan was come in, destroy everyone in my path, take home 3 points, play it cool.
Yeah.
Play it cool. Tell them
Yeah.
about it after too.
I've been saying this since Sunday night. We were all stressed trying to play Crash Bandicoot. Tom was just chilling out, and I was like, I'm telling you, his time is good. And I was right. I
And
was
you know
right.
what, Tom? You witnessed Luvva break down
It
online.
was joyous. It actually was joyous, to be honest. I've never seen he's for 49 episodes of say he's been pretty cool, calm, collected with all the games he does. He takes them all in his
Mhm.
stride and does what he needs to do.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen him flapped
Yeah.
as much as
Flap.
Crash 2 has flapped him.
I didn't
What an
flap.
accusation.
I was frustrated at the lack of consistency in a lot of things of Crash Bandicoot 2, actually. I think you'll find. But yeah, it was stressful because I knew your time was going to be good, and I felt a lot of pressure to try to match you, shall we say, in Crash Bandicoot. But we shall see if I've done that or if I've done one better and better, G.
Exciting.
It was a late
It's tense,
submission.
though. This is it. This is now absolutely unknown.
Maybe I was
Sorry,
getting
just to
so.
hark back. We have an active community on our Discord, and we record this spoilers in our Discord. So while we were recording this, we just got a message of one of the people of the community have been playing the game you've been playing, demo Tomahawk, and they had a very satisfying time beating the boss with one hand. It's incredible. They were able to- Anyway,
Anyway,
let's move on.
Shall we get back to name that game before we get to my run? I think we should. I think we should. We should leave Tom on tenterhooks for just that little bit longer.
Yes.
Absolutely, I love it.
Let's go to name that game.
All right, gentlemen, this is the final round of Name That Game. You've had two absolute gems so far in Evil Dead the game and The Days Before, which is The Days No More. So let's look at this. This is a review from Amazon customer who gives this game 5 whole stars.
Wowzers.
It's titled Breathtaking Visuals, Unlimited Replayability, 5 out of 5. Okay, love this game. I've completed it about 6 times already, and I've put about 400 hours into it. I actually bought a PS5 just for this game. The game runs butter smooth, has only crashed about 10 times or so, which is acceptable. I have played a multitude of PS5 games, and this one ranks highest in my collection. The stealth action easily trumps classic stealth games like Metal Gear Solid and such. I paid £60 for it, day one release, and have definitely got my money's worth. New games don't need fancy action sequences or endless options on where to go and what to do. Sometimes simple mechanics like sneaking around or going from one point to another and then back again, while lobbing stones as a distraction, are all that's needed for a thoroughly enjoyable gaming experience. End of review.
Something's
21
telling
people find
me.
that helpful.
Is
But-
it Ghost of Tsushima?
It's not, Tom, and Luvva, you might want to continue your point.
I think this is an ironic review. It's definitely ironic review. This is butter smooth and runs perfectly fine. It's only crashed 10 times. That is not a legitimate review. I don't think this game is actually a 5-star game. However,
I think I know what it is now.
However, throwing stones to distract others, stealth game, and this PS5 game, I honestly have no idea.
Well,
Honestly, I have no idea.
I think I know what it is now.
I feel like I have to throw a name out there just to move this game on. So I'm just going to go with Metal Gear Solid Survive.
it's not Metal Gear Solid Survive. Is that game on the PS5?
I don't know. PS5, PS4 backwards compatibility. There we go.
That's fine. Okay, so let's try and find you a clue. This game was reviewed by Eurogamer with a 1 out of 5, which is unfortunate.
Okay. Is it Lord of the Rings Gollum?
It actually is.
Well done.
Lord of the Rings Gollum.
Nick.
Well done, Tom.
Because
Came out-
as soon as you said ironic and crashed and throwing stones, yeah, definitely was a broken game that should never have seen the light of day.
I never would have got that. I had no idea. I have no idea what the gameplay is in Gollum.
So basically, it's a lot of grabbing, a lot of climbing, but apparently Gollum can't grab or climb.
oh,
He just
sweet.
if you don't
Yeah.
grab it pixel perfect, he'll just fall and die.
Incredible scenes. What a game. 10 out of
It is
10.
outstanding. There is a one incredible moment that should be witnessed, maybe on YouTube, because I'm not sure you should really spend the money buying it. Where they haven't finished animations.
Oh,
in the game.
yes.
So what happens was they load a still JPEG image.
JPEG, that's right.
No, they
And
don't.
It's a
It's
JPEG
just a
image under
still
Gollum's face. Yeah.
image of just
Yes.
a picture on Gollum's face, just to, as a placeholder.
A placeholder, yeah,
Well-
yeah.
We'll animate that at a later date.
Oh, did you animate that, Keith? Yes, I did.
Yeah, boss. Good to go.
Speaking of good to go, let's get to my run on Crash Bandicoot 2,
Ooh.
Cortex Strikes Back. Mm. So this is it. This is my run. No spoilers. It's a good one. It's a good one.
Big talk.
That's
Big
all I'm
talk.
saying.
And there's a
It
lot
is.
on this.
And it was also
We now
a-
know the time to beat, so
Yep, it was also a late submission as well. So maybe, just maybe, after I played Gran Turismo last night, I put on Crash Bandicoot and did a wee world record speed run. I don't know. Tom doesn't know. Cardinal doesn't know. Not even Sherry knows my time. No one knows it. Let's watch it now
That's what
and
warriors
find
we
out
know.
together as a team of podcasters.
here we go.
So here we go.
Smooth
So
as butter.
I, like Tom, discovered the spinning dash was just the fastest way, but I also could never get that 3-second crate at all. So I just decided, let's just go. Let's just move. But I'm already falling behind Tom's time. Massively so.
3
That-
seconds off of pace. Yeah. That you need to be absolutely precision perfect
Yep.
on that lift to activate it. It's so annoying.
Yep. And then on this part, because it changed perspective, I forgot about the
well
dash
spun.
spin until there. I was like, what am I doing? And then I had to wait for these as well. So I kind of made a rod for my own back. Once I fell behind, I fell behind. And there was really no coming back from it, to be fair. It took me a long time to realize that mask, you didn't have to jump to hit that box. It took me a long time to
really?
realize that. And then I just
Incredible.
Oh,
Well,
very
he's
close.
there.
That was so close.
Now there you'll see the hitboxes, yeah. On one of my runs, the one before this, I did exactly the same thing, but fell into it, but got caught on the side of the hitbox, and it pulled me up through the geometry.
Crazy.
So I did-
Absolutely fantastic.
Yep. So I ran this and ran this and ran this and ran this. This was the fastest time I could get, and then you can see by my other times, I was getting nowhere near it. My consistent time was about 57 odd seconds, and just kept on incrementally improving it. And then I
That's
hit this and couldn't get it. The only way to improve that time is by spinning on the side scrolling bit and also hitting 3-second boxes.
You missed one time box that entire time, and I think a little bit
It-
more proficiency on the 2D
Mm-hmm.
part of the level would have brought that time down a good bit as well.
And,
Yeah.
And for listeners, that time, as I know you'll be in suspense, was 54 seconds, 0.21.
Mm-hmm. 54.21. Not quite good enough. Not a million miles away. What's that? 7
No.
seconds ish? 7 or 8 seconds. If I had got that 3 at the start, maybe it would have been a different story. But I knew Tom's time was going to be good because of previous Crash Bandicoot and previous speed runs, to be fair to Tom. But yeah, I was like, I'm absolutely not putting myself through this for more than I have to. This is the best time I've got. This is the best time I'm probably going to get, and I'm going to quit. playing Crash Bandicoot 2 as a speed run game. And I have no regrets. But before we move on from this, ugh, anything Tom wants to say? He's officially the winner of this challenge. Again, Crash Bandicoot.
I've made my points clear. Come in, disrupt everything, ruin everyone's day, take 3 points.
Yep. Well, we'll wrap up Crash Bandicoot. We'll share our thoughts on the game, and we'll be more fair. And we're taking our thoughts as the game as a whole, not just this speed run challenge. But we'll do that, and we'll talk about what this does for the table, what the points are, etc., etc. We'll do it all. Let's get there now. And that is that then. Episode 50, our first real landmark episode. Done and dusted. Crash Bandicoot 2, done and dusted. Here's the final results then. So in fourth place with a time of 1 minute 14 is Mr. John Sherry, who gets no points. In third place with a time of 1 minute 9 seconds, Cardinal Smith. In second place with a time of 54:21, it was me. And in first place with a time of 46:41, it is Tomahawk. So that means for points, Sherry gets none, Cardinal gets 1, I get 2, Tomahawk gets 3. And here is a little piece of unplanned symmetry between episode 1 and episode 50. It is exactly the same result as what we got in episode 1. Tom first, me second, Cardinal third, Sherry fourth. Now that is more fitting than I could have ever planned for. Incredible
Can't tell
scenes.
if there's no one else has improved either. That just seems to.
I think
Nothing gained, nothing
anything,
lost there.
It is a
anything,
much...
Tomahawk has got better at speedruns in these 50 episodes. Because it was much closer.
It is a much, much harder speedrun than what Crash Bandicoot 1 is.
I think what we even thought it was going to be naively going into this, we did kind of have a think it can't be the first level. It's a bit too easy. It's like proper tutorial stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize how much of a grind you're having to put into that.
Yeah.
Don't let it take away from the rest of the game. The rest of the game is great. Like it's probably one of, I think Crash 2 weirdly is like the lesser spoken of the Crash 4 games, really.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I'll never go back playing that level for as long as I live.
Yeah. I think Crash Bandicoot follows that Naughty Dog sort of pattern. The best Uncharted is either the second or the fourth. And the best of the Naughty Dog Crash Bandicoot games is definitely 2. 100% 2. It's better than 3. It's less frustrating than 3 as a casual playthrough game. And I think it's just a better all-round game than 3.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it more than Crash Bandicoot Warped. For all its faults. And there are faults of it. But yeah, that speedrun challenge, though, as you said, Tom, a massive, massive, massive grind. I jokingly, like, it was like I was losing my mind. I was going bananas trying to beat that time. I just couldn't get anywhere. I couldn't get anywhere near it. I had no idea what anyone else's time is because Crash Bandicoot, if you can even see your friends' times, completely hides it somewhere. And it's just it was a frustrating challenge to do. Like the first one, in fairness, like the first one. But it is just the movement in it is just so difficult.
Yeah.
To time everything, and everything's on a global timer in that game as well. If you miss one thing, you're getting caught by something later on that level. And that little jump onto the lift, which should be the easiest part of it, if you don't hit it spot on, Crash Bandicoot will readjust himself because he has to be in the exact middle before that thing goes up. And it takes 2 seconds.
It's frustrating because you lose so much in bits that can't be helped. I think even if you land on that pixel perfect, it still takes the time for the game to go, oh, they've done that. Oh, let's just keep going.
Yeah, if you miss it off center, I think it costs you about somewhere between 1.5 and 2 seconds with the little animation of him readjusting himself, and then you lose about 2.5 seconds of it transitioning to the next part of the level. and then at the end of this 2D part, when you drop down the hole, you lose about
lose 2
another 2
seconds
seconds
again.
there. Yeah. So every transition costs you about 2 seconds. And I totally forgot that Crash Bandicoot, Crash Bandicoot 2, you have to go through those tunnels to get to the finish line. Totally forgot about that because the first time I did it, I stopped at where it tells you your box number, thinking that was the end. So I did. That's
Oh,
you won't see
brilliant.
that on the podcast. I'll tell you that much. But
That's
yeah,
class.
yeah,
Warts and all, it's a great, but I think when we do these things specifically for the podcast, that stuff taxes your brain, definitely.
oh,
But great game, like as a whole.
yeah, it's one of those challenges where I wish I knew what everyone else was doing. I wish I could see
Yes.
everyone else's times, but it makes for better content if you can. So it sits us. Cardinal, what did you think of it, mate? As a speed run challenge, first and foremost. As
I
a
think it would be
speed
good
run.
live as well. You know, really, we should be filling out maybe a couple of stadiums. You know, we just do this one shot live. We do a Sherry one and done
One and done
of a speed run.
in Wembley
know,
Stadium, 2024.
Absolutely, exactly.
it.
Yeah, this year.
This year,
Look,
right now. Just
I'm
after
sure Wembley's got free dates. Do you know what? One thing I love about this podcast is I am always forced or willing to play games that I never have or will.
It's a
And
comfort zone thing,
I-
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's totally. You're talking like, oh, this animation cost you 2 seconds. Like, what the hell's he talking about? I've never played the game enough to even see what you mean. But here I am, still able to beat Sherry by 5 seconds with one shot.
There you
Fantastic.
go.
Sorry.
That's what I love to see. That's what I love to see. When you have a non-diagnosed competition problem, you notice things like that. Cardinal is all I'm going to say. Because
Yeah.
every time I got there, I was like, how long does it take to go up? Because I had like these little milestones. I want to be there at this time. I want to be there at this time. And my time to get to the lift was 10 seconds. I hit there in 10 seconds about 4 or 5 times and died at the penguin or whatever it was. And it was just like, ah.
I did that a couple of run throughs where I hit the lift at 8 seconds at one time, and then I got hit with a janky hitbox at the penguin. So you could be good in there's 3 sections essentially in that level. You could be good at 1, 2, or 3. It's being able to chain them together.
That's it. That's it.
It's
And
the
when
hard part.
yes, and when the perspective changes, I think when we played Crash Bandicoot 1, I complained an awful lot about depth perception in the run into the camera parts. In this game, it was the exact opposite. I find it really hard to readjust to going from the into the camera to the horizontal side scrolling part. I find it really difficult to adjust to that, and the side scrolling part was the run killer for me more than the other two.
Even when you drop at the end of the side scroller, Crash faces the camera, which
I know.
is even more annoying.
Yes, it is. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a great touch and it's a total naughty dog thing of look how much charisma our character has and look how well we've animated him. You're seeing our animations, but when you're trying to get to that finish line before everyone else, you're just like, turn around now. I need to run forward here. But yeah, as a speedrun game, frustrating. I'm sure you get really, really good at it. Absolutely. I think the world record for that is like 26 seconds.
Something like that.
Like legitimate. I'm sure there's some speeds way quicker than that that's not legitimate for whatever reason. Probably TAS or whatever's doing it too. But as a game in general, it's a great game.
Great game.
Crash Bandicoot 2 is
Really good.
great. It is from start to finish absolutely fantastic. The story's funny. It's charming. The levels are hard, but not to the same sort of level as Crash Bandicoot 1 was difficult.
They were reined in a little bit more.
Yeah, I think they were more mature as a game studio, and they realized actually, don't know what, like those bridge levels in Crash Bandicoot 1 were brutally hard. There's no level in Crash Bandicoot 2 that's as difficult as Road to Nowhere, for example. And there really isn't.
Yeah.
And the bosses are way better. In fact, the bosses in Crash Bandicoot 2 are better than the bosses in Crash Bandicoot 3. and it doesn't
Hot take.
overdo it with the gimmick levels. Like you have Hog Wild and stuff, and you have like the little levels where you're riding on the back of an animal, whatever. Whereas Crash Bandicoot 3 throws those levels at you where you're riding on the back of a tiger. You have the motorbike levels, you have the jet ski
ski.
levels, and all those levels are, especially in the remaster, the remaster one expects you to be perfect in those things, otherwise you're not getting past them. The
Mhm.
motorbike levels in Crash 3 Warped, remastered, wild hard. Like super hard. It is crazy. But
Tune
yeah,
into episode 100 to see what we do in Crash
100
Warp.
to see Luvva lose his mind over Crash Bandicoot 3 Warp Speedrun that's happening. You've heard it here first. Maybe we might even try to do something special for that one as well. Who knows? If we get to 100, if we haven't lost our minds playing tiny snippets of games we would never otherwise play. But yes, let's do. Oh, would you play it again? Cardinal, would you play Crash Bandicoot 2 again?
Yes, yes. That's a fun platformer. Absolutely. I might have to.
What
Gotta get
about
the
you,
practice
Tomahawk?
in. As long as I can have the lend of a PS4 on retainer, then yes, absolutely. You dip in and out of it. It's no consequence we game, like, so good fun.
Yeah, I would also play Crash Bandicoot 2 again, just not as a speed run. Just not as a speed run game. I have no interest in getting all of the relics in Crash Bandicoot 2. I would be grey. My beard would have way more grey hairs than it already currently does. But yes, Crash Bandicoot 2 then. So what does all this mean for our league table, Jim? And after all is said and done, the only thing people are interested in is what does this do to the league? So Cardinal, you got 1 point. Tom, you got 3. I got 2, which means the league table currently looks like this. In 4th place on 6 points, Sherry. In 3rd place on 12 points is Cardinal Smith. In 2nd place on 17 points is Tomahawk. Still leading the way, 7 episodes deep. On 18 points is me. It's down to 1 point.
1 point, does it?
It is down to 1
Hey.
point. And 6 points between me and Cardinal. 2 challenge wins. It's all to play for.
Hey.
All to play for. Even Sherry could win this. Still a lot of points to be had. So there
Stranger
are
Things.
still a lot of points to be played. And a lot of things will change in the league, I've no doubt about it. Once the car games come out, Cardinal start picking up mega points, I've no doubt.
Hang on. One of those card games is Sherry's.
It's a
essentially
Sherry pick.
Sherry's
Yeah.
pick. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
We shall see.
We shall
one
see.
thing I'm going to
There's
call out
points,
here.
points everywhere.
What was it Tomahawk asked us in our private chat to add bonus points to this
Oh,
question for?
okay. We'll pull the curtain back a little bit. Since it's episode 50, here comes a cracking wee piece of behind the scenes. So, after the deadline closes on Crash Bandicoot 2, Tomahawk has a sudden, I have a brainwave. Why don't we give bonus points for the person who gets the most crates? Now, keep in mind, this is after the deadline closes in a speed run challenge. So, we, like any regular human being, thought he's only doing this because he's got loads of boxes in his speed run. So, we swiftly shut that idea down.
Absolutely. It was incredible.
Now the laugh is, I like to think that Cardinal's only brought that up because he's been taking secret tallies of everyone's box counts.
Yes.
I will absolutely be reviewing that footage.
That's incredible.
Um, and then once we declined Tom's generous offer of bonus points in this game, he came up with a secondary idea. Why don't we do a bonus point for every crate we smash? Again, there's only one reason.
Every crate.
There's only one reason he is bringing up the idea is because Tomahawk got quite a lot of crates. I wish I remembered this.
I don't think I did. No, but
You definitely
again,
got more than me.
We'll take it into independent review. Cardinal, that's your homework.
Yeah, Tune in next
Okay.
week to see what the final crate count was on Crash Bandicoot. There will be no extra points because this was all posited after the deadline, which is mad to me. It is mad. It is
I still feel
Tomahawk.
as if it would have been declined even pre-deadline, but there we are.
It is.
I loved it. I think that's that kind of ambition and audacity that,
It's
that wins podcast seasons.
it's incredible. He brought it up quite late in the evening as well. He was hoping to catch us tired, a wee bit sleepy, and let us go. Yeah, why not? I mean, it was a daring gambit on your part.
He knows to
Tomahawk.
do it earlier in the week now.
Mhm.
You know what?
That's it.
Throw these random things out there.
Why not? I mean, I appreciate everything about it. Pure brilliance. But no, Tomahawk, there will be no bonus points for Crash Bandicoot. I think what Tom was doing was going, I don't think anyone can beat me on this. I'm 1 point behind Love. I need an extra point.
Let's get the gap. Yeah, let's
I-
mind the gap, lads.
I want 1 point so I
Mind
can
the
still
gap.
sit second behind Love due to challenges won. But it hasn't worked. Not this
No.
time.
Get you.
You'll never catch me slipping by. You'll never catch it. It's too much at stake. Our league table.
Hold it sacred. You hold that too sacred.
And speaking of things we hold sacred, the wrap up section, let's get there. 1, 3. And that is it. Another episode, a special episode, episode 50, all wrapped up.
The
gentlemen.
half century, people.
We are more than halfway through season 3, which means we've really got to start thinking about what our side quests are going to be.
That's it.
We're getting to the business end. This is the business end of the season now. The games are going to come thick and fast. The points are going to come thick and fast. There's going to be a lot of movement in this league. There's no doubt between now and the end of episode 12. And it's all to play for everyone involved, including Sherry and his classic one and done ways. Before we get all that, though, there's certain things we have to do. Number 1, we'll get the question and poll of the week out there first and foremost, gentlemen. So, question of the week for this week is all to do with speedruns. Tomahawk has highlighted his proficiency in speedrunning Crash Bandicoot. So, my question to you guys, my dear listeners, is what game do you think you would be quite good at speedrunning? It can be any game at all. Just give us your game and why you think you'd be a pretty good speedrunner at. And then our poll of the week is quite simple as well. What is the best Crash Bandicoot game? And we're going to stick to the good ones. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Cast your vote in the poll below. And with all that being said, Cardinal gave me a nice wee idea when he was chatting about. Cardinal said the word, do you know what my favorite thing about this podcast is? Is playing games I would never usually try. Since episode 50, Tomahawk, what has been your favorite thing about the first 50 episodes of High Scores, High Stakes?
I think it has to be the sheer variety of games that we play. Yes, we pigeonhole ourselves. Cardinal does his strategy racers. I kind of do like my AAAs, and Luvva, you probably sort of steer towards the kind of indie stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Pushes everyone's boundaries a little bit and makes us kind of broaden our gaming mindsets, I think, and I'm all for it.
Yeah. My favorite thing is probably tied to what both of you have said. Is just playing. I've played more games this last year than I have done in a very, very, very long time. And one of my favorite things about this podcast as well is, testing games for the podcast to see if it works. It is also quite a lot of fun because you go, what about this game? I've never heard of this game. Let's try that. And things like that. And also Resident Evil. Resident Evil is probably my favorite challenge for a lot of reasons. But the main reason is because of our setup, is you get to play old games that you know inside out in entirely new ways.
Mm-hmm.
Far more challenging ways. But yeah, there's lots and lots I like about this podcast. But yeah, that's my 3. So with all that being said, last 2 things to do then is the social media wrap up. Go to highscoreshighstakes.com. Everything's there. All the links to social medias: Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Discord, YouTube. Make sure you visit YouTube if you want to see what's going on in our season-long challenge, Civilization 6. As I said at the start, Cardinal's doing some great videos up there. Watch them; they're 5 minutes long, and they'll tell you everything that's going on. And with all that being said, I think the last thing to say is I've been Mr. Luvva Luvva. This has been episode 50 of High Scores, High Stakes. See you Monday. Love y'all. Bye.
Cheerio.
Bonsoir, mon ami.
Yep. Thank you very much to everyone who has watched any length of High Scores, High Stakes. Bye.
Bingo.